Hi everybody, it's Stephanie again, and I am here to talk about what we did last week for our Oops, I Arted homeschool and after school classes. We have been focusing on using items that you would already have at home so that you don't have to go to the store. And so this was the second part in our two-part class. This is creating the animal habitat. So last week we created animals using different textures, and so it could be anything. So mine was a was an octopus with lizard scales, and then I added some texture by adding wings on the back and kitten ears, and then the pointy, how we learned pointy last week, and some prickly arms to protect himself from. So it was pretty fun to see what you guys all created. And so this week we're creating the animal habitat for that. And so the items that you will need are something to stick things together with. It could be glue, staples, any of that kind of stuff. Something to color with, whatever you have at home. A pair of scissors, and then recycling material. So egg cartons, it could be an old tape holder, toilet paper rolls, thing of crackers. All those kind of things are great to use, and it's double awesome because it's Earth Week. So let's go ahead and get started. So some of the techniques that we are going to learn about, I'm gonna move this down here so you can see what I'm doing. So some of the techniques that we are going to learn about, it's called slot. So this slot technique is just paper and so macaroni and cheese. You're going to cut it here halfway and cut it here halfway. This is awesome because it gives you 4 different sides that you could create things on. So if you wanted to do the 4 seasons, you know, however you wanted to create that, if you want to do 4 different rooms, you can color on these, and that can be pretty fun. Another technique that you can use for slot is with the toilet paper roll. Let's get that a little better to see. And on this, you're just going to cut around again with the scissors, and then you can cut into these whatever shapes you want. So you could use the macaroni and cheese, you could use an additional toilet paper roll, and you can add them on there through the slots, and that makes pretty cool techniques. Like if you wanted this to be a windmill or a flower or any of those kind of things that you wanted to build with, you could make these into fun shapes like leaves or stars, or however you wanted to do that. So that's another really cool slot technique. Another fun way to build is with an L brace. And so this was just the end of a macaroni and cheese container, and you just fold that together, and you could tape it right here, but that gives you a really cool diorama effect where you could draw things on here. Maybe you want to make the desert or a winter scene or a tropical scene or any of those kind of things. So that creates a really fun project to do. Along with that, you could also do a corner. So it's the same concept as this, except for, we're going to take 2 of these as an example. So you cut these 2, and then you're just going to tape or glue or staple these together, and then you just create a corner with it. So this is another really cool way to do a diorama and create a corner. You could even use a corner that you already have. So maybe in the, you know, you want to use the box you already have and just cut the top off. There's all sorts of fun things that you could do with that when you're creating your scene. Another fun thing is called tabs. So if you have just a straight piece of paper, again, in a third up, and then another third up, so every third of the way through your material, you'll bend 1 back and 2 forward. So that gives you a tab to create a really sturdy wall. Then you could create something on the back, in the front, or however you wanted to do it. One of the other teachers in the class, Roxanne, took this concept and with paper, and she created some coral. She created catfish, and so she created some coral through her habitat. So that was really awesome. Another way that you can do this with the L brackets, with the L brace, is to create with triangles. So on this one, you're just going to cut out square shapes. This is just a big example. You'll cut it into a triangle, and then you'll take that triangle, and that's what creates these braces right here. So that gives you a really sturdy structure. So if you're trying to do a really big skyscraper, or maybe you want to do a spaceship that, you know, maybe your animal came from Mars or something like that, this will give you a way to create some really sturdy, a really sturdy base on the ground. Another cool thing to do is creating notches in things. So a notch, wedge, and insert. So on this one, you would flatten this out. So that was in there before I cut it. You'll use your paper towel. You'll draw a circle around it. Then you will take it and form it this way. So now you can see the circle, and it makes it really easy just to cut a half circle out of it, creating the half circle, and then you can insert it into other paper towels. So you can create some really fun techniques and designs this way too, to build things with. Another one is a flange. So this one, you'll just have your paper towel or your toilet paper roll again, and you'll just cut all the way around it in little tiny strips. Then it creates a really solid base. So when you're gluing or taping or stapling this on your paperwork, it will create a solid base to build on top of. So that's a really cool way to also create some of your 3D work. Another fun thing that I did was just taking a milk carton, and then I took a toilet paper roll, and that was one of the animals I created, was the little bird friend for my octopus. And then I did some of the drawing texture techniques that we learned last week also with the hairy and furry, and I created a little tree. So that was kind of fun. Another really great thing to do is to just open the toilet paper roll. So if you just cut the toilet paper roll in half and open it up, it creates a really fun base to draw on. And then I created a little fish, and he has some little fish friends. So, and this right here is a little accordion paper. So what you do, even if you just have paper and you don't have anything to recycle with, you can make lots of really fun additions or by itself. So if you have some strips of paper, all of the scrap paper that you use from creating your animal, this is a great way to do something with those. So if you make something about this side and you just fold it every other one, you'll get these really cool accordions, and you could use these for all different kinds of things, like I did to make your fish 3D, you know, so he kind of bounces around. If you want to play with them that way, you could hang it down, make stairs out of it, all sorts of cool things. Again, if you're back to this piece of paper and you just tape it together, right, you can create circles, you know, or a roll. So you can do all sorts of cool things with these, building them up on top of each other, or maybe making some additions on things. Maybe it's a hole to look out for your boat. Also have a chain where you put a bunch of those together. And so again, you just create one, slip it through the next one, you'll tape that one, and you just keep going. And so that's how you create the chain effect with those. And that's a really fun addition to your animal habitat. If you don't have scissors, you can also just do what's called controlled tearing. So on here, just really carefully tore the design that I wanted. I thought this would be really fun to do on like a sea. If I was out in the ocean, maybe this was the waves. You could also cut out, you know, a wave. And then also, if you just had that same, you know, size piece of paper and then you just rolled it together, these would be really fun to do, like tree stumps, or you can maybe make an igloo, just so many cool things. And then this one is just a spiral that was cut out, and it hangs down. We had some kids that taped their animals to it and said it was a magical tornado, so just really fun, different ways to do things. And then last, what you'll want to do is just make sure you find a good base to put your items on. So you know, the inside of an egg carton works good. Again, you could use your boxes. This would be fun for a cave, or you could open it up and that could create the bottom of your animal habitat. And then you could even just use some of your scrap paper, or just get a fresh sheet of paper and draw on it, and then add different things to it. So there's no wrong way to do it. We had a really fun, one of our kids took their egg carton and turned it into a boat, which was awesome. So there's just so many fun things you can do with this project. Another thing to think about is what your animal is going to eat in the animal habitat. So making sure, so the octopus likes pizza. So I put some pizza on his. My bird liked to eat mushrooms. So I made some little mushrooms for him to eat. So think about what kind of food your animal's going to eat in their habitat, and then also what kind of furniture they're going to have. So will they be sleeping on a rock, or will they be sleeping on a bed? Will they be sitting in a chair, or do they like to lay in a tree? So think about those things that you can also add to your habitat and create and have a really good time. So thanks, you guys, and we will see you next week. Bye.